little bit about myself. My name is Khoi. I'm currently a software engineer at Ascenda. So, at the first time I joined Ascenda, I have my chance to learn about Ruby and Hanami. It's my very first language and framework I use in production. And I want to wish about, is there anyone know about Hanami Framework? Okay. So this is Hanami Invest. So I had a chance to interact with Hanami for 8 months, and this is very young and a Lightning framework, and ours is my team had choose Hanami to start with, and for 8 months we have occurred some problem and issue, and we decide to migrate the whole system to Rails, and here's the system about here's about a story about it. And yeah, this is the agenda, just about introduction, why we choose migrate and why Rails, and how do we do that. So yeah, Hanami is a very young framework. It's actually big lightweight framework, because Rails is a full stack framework. It's actually back end and both back end and front end, and they also force us to follow the standard line of code in the whole system. But with Hanami, we can do it in our way, and it's more a feature over the MVC. So I mean feature over MVC is because with Rails they force us to organize the app as the way they want, but Rails has a really strong community until now from very first of 2002, and yeah, so this is about why do we want to migrate the framework. So the reason that we want to is enemies have really strong feature, but the community is not active. They are really small, and updating dependency is too slow and painful. So for example, in time Ruby have upgrade to Ruby 3 for years, but at the time we still use Ruby 1, and we stop at Ruby 2 for a lot and for a really long time, and we wait for them to upgrade the framework. And not only about Rails, but other dependencies the Bright and Arsenal, all other stuff stuck at very low version, and we have dependency to upgrade, and we have communicate with the Rails team or Hanami team to ask them, hey, when do you guys have plan to update into Hanami 2, but kind of really slow, and if we have research about the Hanami 2, and the upgrade 1 to 2 is upgrade to another framework, the structure is different, and the cost of migrating is equal to migrate from Hanami to Rails. So we have considered if we stick to Hanami, is it what about Hanami 3? Do they want to keep us ways like that anymore? And this time is 1 year, and how about another time, how many years? So because Rails is proven by the time, and this also have strong support Basecamp Shopify, so we start to we decide to move. So this is the point of view of reason, the pain point of that thing. So let's take a look about the another point of view. So about the factoring up. So because I want to discuss that because in daily work, dev want to refactor migrate a lot. They see the old people code not good, and they find why does not do this way, and they really want to refactor the code in our way. But as a developer, we have to pretend like what is the trade-off of migrating. If we just want to migrate the feature or the code base just because we want, it's not the way to do, because we have like, because dev and business have like in a whole system, so we can isolate. Do not we have to think about the business, so we have to think about the trade-off. Is it like worth to really migrate? So we have think about the dev benefit. So obviously, when migrate to Rails, they very up to date dependency, strong community, so a lot of things to with it. So we have kind of whenever we get stuck, we can search on Stack Overflow, or like strong community can help you every time you need. And about the tech stack, so because luckily, like with my context, when migrating from another framework to framework, we have to consider about the gem, the library. So, like for example, there is some gem that only work with Rails, and only some gem that only work with Hanami. But like there's like only few of them. For example, if we have research about Hanami, they do not use the active record or active model. They use entity repository model. So we have to like just a few of the limited gem. So like the cost of migrating the tech stack is simple. But like for example, like scikit or Articuno or Datalog, the gem is like support for both Hanami and Rails, so really easy to migrate. And furthermore, about the team skill. So like luckily that our like the team at that time are like both familiar with Rails and Hanami, so there's no problem with the team to migrate to a new framework. Except me, that because I am a new guy and Hanami is like my first framework. So like, but I think learning about the new framework is like not a big deal in this case. And the fourth thing is about the hiring. So like if the tech stack of the company is about Ruby, so we want to hire Ruby guys, and like if it come up one Ruby guys, like the majority of them are like know about the Rails, the Sinatra, but like how many like only a few of them know what is Hanami is, and like when migrate from the small framework to this big framework, they like we also earn a benefit from this. And last thing about the tech out is infra change. So again, lucky the like whenever like in a CI/CD the stack a server or deploy a data migration with between Hanami and Rails are like pretty the same. So like no risk and small effort to update the infra change. The next thing is like the business share. So I say that we cannot migrate or refactor whatever we want. We have to consider a lot of trade-off between me and like a lot of other team members. So one of the big trade-off about migrating the framework is about risk management. So like if the system is work, if we just touch it and we expect it to be better, but our this deploy to production and cost incident. So like we cannot put our ego into this, and we have to consider about the risk. And yeah, and the team have proposed, I think it's very suitable and good solution that reduce the risk as much as we can. Like we are not just like maintains the system for like 1 hour to like upgrade to a new system. We have the proposal to both migrating and deliver the new feature at the same time. So like new delay, yeah, and because of that we have solved the risk management and migrate time. Furthermore, like business, we have to look at the debt market as I talked before, like because there are a lot of people in Ruby knows Rails rather than Hanami. So there is like bet for the company. And yeah, after like we have discussed between everyone, and we decide to here's how we do it. So this kind of we like just imagine we have own code enemy, and we have a portable own code Rails. So we just mount the Rails inside, mount the enemy inside Rails. So this means that we create a new project Rails and we start enemy inside it. So basically, it just run the same and like loading on the enemy inside Rails, and it work and it run perfectly. So in like enemy specific, we have the controller. So the controller is loaded in from enemy instead of Rails. So we have controller, but controller is inside the enemy and run from the Rails. Same as like we have model in Rails, but in enemy we have entity repo can still loading inside. Same with service. And for data migration, so during the development, we have a change of data migration and form into a schema, right? So we just dump a schema into one file and put it into the Rails, and this work. As you can see, like here's the application from Rails. So we just like eagle load the Hanami files, and it's work perfect. But like in the root file, we just mount hanami.app. So like in Hanami, like in the Rails, they have object called Rails, and whenever the restaurant is called like Rails.run, same with Hanami, they have hanami.app. So we just mount hanami.app. Yeah, like so the drawback of this approach is the infrastructure of the system will increase, for example, like from 1 gig RAM is increased to 1.5 gig RAM, something like that. But the advantage is like very good. It can help us like so here is the this is the first step, just mount enemy inside Rails, and then the second step is migrate the enemy components to Rails components. So like we need to draw a dependency trees. So we have two sources of running the code, which is like from an app, just from controller or scheduled job. So these are two components on the top. The controller will call the repo A, repo B, or repo C, etc. And the repo will call down to an entity. And same as scheduled jobs, scheduled job will run the service repo entity. And we have another component is called a library. So what we do is we mount every enemy into the inside the Rails. So we migrate the library first, because library does not have any dependency to the app logic. Library is just like set up the data log of just mount the handling outside first, and then we continue to migrate the entity and just move out, change the entity repository component into the active shop model, and then we continue to migrate the controller outside. So we can do that because it's really great that the Hanami service can call to the Rails service, and opposite, Hanami entity repository can call to the Rails model and opposite. So we just one by one migrate the part Hanami into Rails until there's no components from Hanami, and we completely migrate into Rails. So during that time, we can continue to develop new features, just new features. So we can choose write in Rails, and we can maintain the process of new feature perfectly. So this whole process will last 4 months. Yeah, and we completely like after that we can remove the Hanami completely. Yeah, and like that is like my story. Thank you. Do you have any question?
I have one question about adoption. You mentioned about the test.
Test, unit test, right?
Yeah.
Or like
From the old code base, do you have unit test, or when migrating to new code base, do you have unit test?
yeah, so lucky that both frameworks are using Ospec, and like Ospec like just look at like because for example the service. So we migrated the service from Hanami to Rails, and if we just consider it okay, the service have input and the output, and we migrate the service, then the Ospec still work, like because Ospec is just a gem that expect the service to return to accept this and outcome this. So the aspect will like run on call Hanami and Rails. So in the migrating aspect, we will like keep like make sure the service run as expected.
Yeah, I think so. Because when migrate, the test is very important when you try to refactor or migrate something, right? Without a test, how you can make sure that your migration is successful or not, right?
Yeah, yeah. Lucky that the unit test still work. Okay.
Lucky, no, I don't think so. The test is already written by someone else. It's not lucky.
Actually, the aspect gem is independent with Rail, so
Yes.
it runs independent.
Okay, yeah.
I have a question. Who take the decision?
It's the team leader.
Team leader.
So like the problem, the issue just escalate from like, oh, this try version is come to 1.6 and we still on 0.8. So like if the system still work, then it's okay, right? But until we need some feature on the new version, yeah, and we have to do the walk around until we cannot do a walk around anymore, and it escalates from the dry gem into another gem. So we cannot wait anymore. So we have to decide.
So you know the reason why Hanami to switch from the linear text to MPC type, like that. You know reason?
Reason
The Hanami two,
Two.
they decide on the not use the linear text anymore, right? They use the MPC.
Yeah,
You know why?
yeah. Actually, I don't know. Like because we have completely migrated before Hanami 2 release.
Yeah. About the mindset of the new developer, so your developers still work with the entity repository anymore or use the model only in the
Completely
future?
migrate to the model.
But actually the folder, the structure to keep entity repository.
Yes. Yes. Like
And
in
our code is
the
still
rim.
there.
Yeah.
Our code is still there, and you
No,
generate
like
the model.
for example, the method in entities can easy migrate to model, right? But the method in repository we can change to scope in Rails.
It's scope.
Yeah. In scope.
Like a new developer in your team. So if you want to create a model,
Yeah.
but it's different with the old code base, right?
Yeah.
The model, set the model like a railway, not the entity repository.
Yeah. So actually, with the new framework, we have to change the mindset, like not using the old mindset from Hanami anymore. So we have to change the mindset, like not only the migrating but also refactor into the Rails mindset.
Yes, old code base is still there and general model.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay. And,
I have a question, but there are not regards what do you mean mounting Hanami server out? Do you mean that you start a new project where copy the source
Mm,
the also got inside the project?
yes, like this is the first step, like the framework, and migrate from Hanami Framework to Rails Framework is like mounting the Hanami inside Rails. So it look like the guy on the outside is the Rails, but running inside is the Hanami. But they still work perfectly, and like we have to slowly migrate the guy inside from Hanami to Rails.
So does it mean that you have two projects to review in Revo or
One Revo, yeah.
and then you have all Hanami source inside.
Yep, yes,
Revo.
correct.
That's logic coding. Can
Yeah.
you clarify a bit about when you migrate to Rails, this code from 1 gigram to 1.5 gigram? Is it the code of Rails?
It's the core of Rails. So like we have the initial result from Rails and the initial result from Hanami. So because they run at the same time, so it's obviously have to increase the result.
Okay.
Well,
Sorry.
Yeah.
go for it.
Okay. So with this strategy, so you have the benefit that you don't have to rewrite. So what is the trade-off?
The trade-off? Yeah, first trade-off is we have to prioritize the ratio of the team to migrate first. So like we have to beside of the migrating, we have also have to develop the new feature. So instead of spend 100% of the capacity to develop new feature, we have to like balance between the two. And second is this method of migrating is not maybe it's based some way, but not official way. So maybe there is some unseen risk that we cannot.
Do you have any issue with performance or like debugging because it's more complex?
It's only issue in the performance. Yeah, so like we have to prioritize the migrating as fast as possible to.
Why we have issue in performance, like it's still rare or Ruby code, right?
Yeah, its performance is like instead of normally scheduled job will run from 1 hour, it be like 1 hour and like some 20 minutes. Yeah, we have to accept the trade-off like that.
Thank you.
Can you touch a bit more about the, go back to the last slide?
Yeah.
I'm a bit confusing about the data migration part. I mean,
Yes.
Follow my question. Okay, as far as I understand, the database, you should still using the same database, right?
Yep, to use one database.
So the data and the schema should probably stay like the same, right?
That's the trick. So in the Hanami or Rails, they have a table called data scheme that only store the version. So for the version, if I declare the data migration like that, so let's say the Rails schema, the table Rails schema will store one column, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4 to n, and it's the first in Hanami, sorry, and then the new Rails they create another table called Rails schema, and at first we start the project. This table will be new, because Rails schema and Hanami schema are different table, different name. Yeah, so with Hanami schema they have full enough version, but Rails schema only like empty. So we create a dummy data migration with like empty content. So it just insert about it just insert the version into that Rails schema, and we fill back to get fill back again. So then it does not have any conflict. It's like if we also ensure in development, in development we run in Rails, right? And this Rails have one version that contain all the current data schema, and it create all the needed table.
So like every other table is the same except for like two table holding schema?
Yep. So like after we completely migrate, we can safely delete the Hanami schema table.
Why you not skip the schema for the rail? So
Yeah, not
skip and take the database for the DevOps team manage. This is that an easy way.
Yeah, that's another option.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
Can you share more light about like the decision between like choosing between Hanami and
Rails?
Rails? Because I'm not familiar with both frameworks. As I understand, Rails could be like more fully featured,
Yeah.
hence like more loads,
Yeah.
like that, right? So if there's any other reason to migrate from Hanami to Rails, like technological wise, other than like the reason you mentioned initially, like the update and dependency.
Yeah. So okay, I am not sure I have full capacity to answer your question, but from like my view, the first reason why we choose Hanami is after the time we still a startup, and we want to try something new. Yeah, something new. So Rails, everyone knows Rails, but hey, it's Hanami and it's faster, like less memory consumer, faster response time, freely. So every suitable with stuff. So Hanami, and then during the time beside the dependency, like technical wise, I think that. Because if we need something, we already have Gem and Ruby framework can do anything. So yeah, I think a small operation is about the dependency and most of it.
That's what I think the design of Hanami to the scalable for microservice, because they decide to include the linear detect inside the structure. I think maybe they think can run many applications one by one code by, but actually the Rail is monolithic application, one application for my application. It's different. I said.
So is there any other question? No. Okay.
So the Rail application that you might can share about technical side, the application, what percent of Rail, where you deploy, how can you implement, just an overview of the technical side.
Yes, that's the part I completely forget. From Hanami, it's migrate from Hanami 1, and it's come to Rails 6, and last year is Rails 6, and the detail is forget.
Do you have a source of typical?
Typical?
Typical is endpoint one per year, something like that.
The only problem I occur with active shop is I have to adapt with the new message, because as you can see here, after I mail Hanami inside Rails, I can use both active record and entity repository Hanami. So I can call user repository doc file something, or user from Rails user doc file something. So everything is work perfect. And the only thing I struggle is I have to adapt to scope and has one.
as I understand with entity repository, like in the variables, you have to include many model inside before they start, right?
Mm.
And the model is just one table, one.
So I think it's,
I think the entity repository is maybe require a lot of data.
It's not like that. Like in the repository, repository is also a table, but the method is for the table. For example, it's method file or method searching something. But for the entity, it's like one entity in a row. Like for example, repository user, and we have method file active user or file uh, high capacity user or something like that. File on the high capacity user. But after file, we return one record, right? And one record is have the method of the entity. So like it's like a little sugar when applied to the model. So model, like method of the model is like the method of one single entity. But if we want to have a method in the whole table, we have to use the scope.
So, you have to rewrite the scope,
Yeah.
like how you say with the Hanami belongs to the model with the entity.
Sorry, because the presentation is limitation. If you have more questions, we can enjoy over there. Yeah, it's easier. So, yeah, and any other question? You can ask him at the pizza, okay?
So why did you ask?
Okay, and yeah, thank you very much, because I know our time is limited and we try to keep the presentation in limited time. And yeah, a lot of stuff is coming food and the quiz game as well. So thank you.